Jonathan Chandler coming to you from the Virginia School of Traditional Arts. We've got a number 6 Norton fly press. In fact, we've got 2 other ones too, but we're going to work on the Norton first. I ordered this from England. I have a whole nother video of what it looks like when it came off the boat and shipping and all that kind of stuff. You can check that out. This one is straight off the boat, still got the grease on it. They just coated it, slathered it down in grease, and that's good in that it doesn't rust on the trip across the ocean. The salt water is horrific on everything, even if it's in a container and all. But we're going to work on taking the grease off. I'm going to start with just some newspaper and wipe off as much as I can, and then I have some brake parts cleaner. We'll get the rest of it with that, and some paper towels. And whenever you're doing this, greasy rags and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to caution you, don't put them in a pile, don't put them in a trash can. You got to put them in a metal container that, in case they burst into flame, spontaneous combustion they call it, is contained. I'm going to put mine in my wood stove and burn them up because it's cold in here. But you got to be cautious with greasy rags and greasy newspapers and that kind of thing. So we're going to take a look at this. She is coated in grease. A little stove right here behind us, that'll come in good. When you're doing this, I'd wear some old clothes. This thing is coated in grease. Just wipe off as much as we can in the newspaper. Wipe off as much as we can. It's coated though. And that's good. We want that. We don't want it to be rusty for sure when it shows up here. Okay, I guess we're going to call that good because that's all the newspaper I brought. Whenever we're using spray, I always put glasses on. This stuff's mean stuff. You don't want this in your eyeballs. And we're just going to start at the top and wet her down a little bit. Try to find which way it sprays with these glasses on. That would be helpful. There we go. Alright, we're going to spray her down with that. And we're going to put grease back on the screw, but we want the grease off of the rest of it. I do. I don't need it to be greasy and holding dust and getting stuff all over. I don't want it like that. But I'll put grease back on the screw once we get done. But we're going to clean it all off to start with. See what we got. And this is brake parts cleaner, and it's mean stuff to get on you, but it does a good job of getting rid of the grease, and it evaporates and it'll go away, and you can paint it too. That's what painters use a lot, like car painters. Before they paint, they'll spray that. Gets rid of all the fingerprints and all that kind of stuff. This piece here at the top is your stop. And I requested that make sure that was on my fly press. If you don't know anything about fly presses, there's some critical parts to them. If you don't have this stop, then you can't control it, how far down it goes. This is kind of like a drill press. You can put your stop on your drill press, and it'll go down so far and stop. This allows this to continue to a certain point, just like your drill press would, and then it will keep it from going any farther. So you can make the same exact bend or punch every time without it having to spin all the way down all the time. So, oh, goodness. Alright, I assume that's the handle for this one since it's the biggest and longest handle I have. And this is the biggest press I have, so this is the way they work. You turn them. Turn it all the way up, clean some of that grease out of this thing. That grease is making it stiff. I hope that's the only thing making it stiff. Here's the grease. We're gonna clean it up here. Alright, back with the glasses because we're gonna spray some more. Spray some more. These are supposed to spin freehand. Don't hit yourself in the head with them like I'm doing here. This is just stiff right at the ends. Probably just needs working. I'm gonna put some oil on this thing. Make sure it's operational. I don't see anything in there now, so we're gonna squirt some oil on it. Oil on this thing. This is just engine oil, is all I got to use. We're gonna do that and put a little bit down here on this, a little bit on that. Those are the mating surfaces, and we may have to adjust that a little bit, maybe. We'll see. We'll put some oil on this, just so it works, but I think that'll help it. We cleaned absolutely all of the grease off, so that could be our issue. We'll run her down a couple times here. There we go, now she's cooking. And it's probably worn out more in the middle where you normally use it than all the way up or all the way down. But it'll spin there by itself a time or two. We'll squirt some more oil on it down here at the bottom. See what we do with it. Good gravy. I guess that fits that. It's a little bit loose, but I guess it's right bigger at the bottom. We'll see. Yeah. It's got all kind of holes in it. Let's see what happens. It's got all kind of holes in them balls. That way you get whatever you need on it. That looks smaller. That one's not sticking out the top near as much. Near as much. And it's even got the hole that'll fit on top of this thing. All right, we were having trouble with this thing spinning, so I took a few minutes and I played with these bolts here. These two hold it on, seems to, and these two adjust it in and out. And so these have lock nuts on them, and they were loose, so I assumed the person that shipped them to me, the fellow that shipped them to me, had tightened this up so it didn't spin around so easy in transport. But when I just played with them a little bit with a big wrench, and we got it to do good. Let's show you what it looks like. Much easier to spin than before. My only concern now is it has a little play up and down, and there's a split nut in there. I may have to look up how to play with that, but you only notice it at the very top. I guess probably at the very bottom too. But this thing spins right on around. Don't want it to get too fast and knock my others off. But that thing works good now. I mean, that does real good. Real good. So that was just operator error there. I didn't know to check that. So I don't think I'm gonna take it all apart. I may take an air compressor, and I still see like little debris and crap in this thread, which probably always some will be there if you're using this thing. But I may take an air compressor and blow that thread out top and bottom and get it as clean as I can and put some more oil on it and that kind of thing. But I think it's working pretty good, and I played with this so that this thing is still tight. It don't flop around. You can get it so loose it flops around, but I think it's just right as far as that direction. It still seems to have some play up and down, and not a whole lot, but some. If you can hear it, might be an eighth of an inch. Don't even know if it's that much. Might be a 16th of an inch, but but I'm tickled to death that this thing spins a lot easier. That was concerning me a little bit. Concerning me just a little bit. And I got my stop here, works very well. So you can set this to stop. It mainly helps where your handle's landed. So if you get it here, you can do that. And you can move it around, and it also stops where you're going up and down, how deep you're going. So that would be another advantage. And this bolt here, I haven't turned it yet, but I assume that makes this thing bite, is what it looks like. So you can permanently fix it so it's some particular spot. It's not missing, it's just an Allen screw. I thought it wasn't in there, but it's just an Allen screw in there. There it is. I don't know if I 100% like that or not. We'll leave it for now. We may get us a bolt put on there so we can tighten down on it some. I think that'll do us. I took the bolt out of that blue one over there. It's a Norton as well, and it would start up in there a little bit, but kind of act like it was hitting something. Then I got to playing with this, and you could feel it loose in there. And so this is an Allen screw somebody's put in there. I had the right wrench for it. Here we go. And the right wrench for it. And much bigger fingers than me, you get her stuck in there. But my understanding, when you make tooling, you put a ring around the top of it so it pushes up against the bottom of this, and it never goes all the way up in there and sits against that cone-shaped thing I'm telling you that's up in there. It's my understanding, so it's never a chance of it getting bound up in there. It's always pushing with the bottom of this ring. Alright. Might just squirt a little oil on my finger and put it back in that thing. keep her from rusting. Not rusted now, so we're gonna keep her from rusting. I did notice a little, I don't know if it's rust or a little hang right there on that handle. I'm gonna grind that off too. I hope you've liked this video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what I'm doing wrong with this thing. This is the first one of these I've ever owned. But we're gonna plan on doing another video on us taking it all the way apart, cleaning every little crevice of it, oiling it up real good, greasing it up good, and putting her back together, and we'll see if we can get her to work smooth